Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Core Brands podcast, the first one of 2026. I was meant to record this episode actually last week, before the year ended. But you know yourself, like it's the last week of the year, you just post Christmas, and you're just, in that bubble of nobody knows which day it is. And I was not actually working, so I really disconnect and I was fully present with my family, and I was back in Portugal, as if you follow me on Instagram, you probably know. So I was like, I will do it when I'm back to the office. So here I am. And you know what? This episode is to tell you a little bit of my review of 2025. And when I first started thinking of this episode, I was like, I'm not sure if I have much to say. I feel it was kind of like a bit of a vanilla year, if you know what I mean. Like, it was okay. It was not amazing. It was not bad. It was just vanilla. But then as I started jotting down kind of like the ups and downs, like there was so much that happened that I completely forgot. So I think it's totally worth to share with you, and maybe even suggest you to yourself the same exercise, even if you're thinking, oh, maybe 2025 was not that great. Maybe take some time to reflect, and I'm pretty sure you're going to find some moments that you probably forgot or you're not remembering anymore, and they were important for some reason. So I'm going to share first the bad moments, not the bad, like the downs, because I want to end up with a positive, more on a positive note. So I'll just share kind of like the lows first, and then I'll go on the ups and the positives. So the lows, like the biggest low that I must say is that 2025 was the year that I was in business that I had less leads coming in. So less people coming in, inquiring, requesting proposals and discovery calls and all of that. So in that sense, it was really quiet. And if you own a business, you know how scary that is. Like for me personally, the first 3 months of the year are always usually quieter, because I feel people are kind of like starting the year and still kind of like understanding what's their plans. But overall, it was quiet. It doesn't mean that I did not have work, but it was more returning clients and repeating clients than new leads coming in. So I think one of the reasons why that happened is because I really, within the years, I've been put a lot of filters on my inquiry form. And I feel like if people almost kind of like self-qualify themselves before they inquire with me, which is perfectly fine, because I think in the interest of everyone's time, I don't want to be, having a talk or a chat with someone that is not a good fit to work with me. And, the same for the leads. In that sense, I think it kind of like worked out well. However, it was still scary. I talked with a lot of other business owners within a few networking groups. And I just want to say that among all of those, this seems like a pretty common scenario for 2025. There was a lot of uncertainty and a lot of more fear around spending on the business and investing on the business. So hopefully in 2026, things will turn and change for the better. But I just want to let you know that if you are on the same page, or if your 2025 felt the same, you're not alone. There was a lot of us on the same boat. Then what else was kind of like the lows? So I went in business with my husband in January. We have a business called the Core Makers, which is a 3D printing business. We started by doing a lot of key rings. We had a bunch of products, like maybe too many products. And the business took really well at first, but then it started getting really quiet. I think reflecting on it, and actually I don't really need to reflect because I was really aware of it while we were running it. My husband being a full-time, having a full-time job and I having a full-time business didn't leave us too much of time to focus on the second business. So it's very quiet and at times we felt kind of like demotivated. But I think it's just the nature of our lives and the things we have to do every day. And, you know, we all have the same 24 hours and it's pretty much impossible to do it all. So that project is not finished. It's not paused. It's just kind of like it's happening, but kind of like on the background. So if you need any 3D printing, stuff, let us know. We are still marinating the business plan, at the moment. And then the other thing that, was not positive, and it's still an ongoing thing, so I'm not going to lie. And I'm just to clarify, I'm being completely transparent on this 2025 review because I want this to feel it's not. I'm not going to flourish everything, and I'm not going to make you believe life is perfect and beautiful and every day is a joy, because there is a lot of struggle and challenges like everyone else. So back in February last year, I was diagnosed with PTSD. And that came with a lot of surprise, but also a lot of clarity. So at the same time, it was a bit shocking. It was also very clarifying, and there was a lot of unanswered questions that suddenly now I know why is this happening. So I have been working on that. I am actively working on that and getting treated. But yeah, it is a less positive thing in my life because it adds to a lot of anxiety and panic attacks and stuff that it's not fun. But it's good to be aware, and it's good to have support to look after these situations. So yeah, so that's why I didn't want to end with the downs, because now we're going up to the ups. And there's way more ups than downs, believe me. So the first one, and I know I mentioned it on the lows, but it was an up as well. Getting in business with my husband, building the core makers. It's fun. It's still fun. We did a lot of stuff. And we met a lot of people, and it was and it still is very fun. So it's definitely a positive point in my year. Then it was great to go to Adobe Max London for the second time. That was in April. Every time I feel completely in awe for all the professionals and the speakers and everyone that I get to see giving their talks, learning about the software and what's coming in. Like every time I go, I think about Roberta back in 2000 in university, where, you know, none of this was possible. So it's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to have access to this technology. And I'm not only talking about AI, I'm talking about much more than that. So I feel very grateful that I was able to go again for the second time, and hopefully this year again. And then around the same time, maybe a bit earlier, I've started in a new gym. My previous gym closed down, so I went to a new gym. So I'm getting more consistent with my training. I also went back to running. I haven't run for many years, so I'm slowly building up my running skills again, if you say. And I may or may not run a Dublin Marathon this year. Don't know. Who knows? Leave it up in the air. But yeah, focus on training, and the gym has been big in 2025, and I really hope to continue it this year. Makes me feel good. And it really makes my day better. Then I had the pleasure to won 2 awards in 2025. This was a big thing that I had on my vision board. I really wanted to win an award. I'm just looking at my vision board there. It's been there for a few of years, I think. most of the things on that vision board came to life. And the award was not only one, it was two. So I won the Network Ireland Dublin branch One to Watch award. I was also a finalist in the STEM category. And I won Design Rush award with the project My Palm Co. For the best packaging design. So very exciting, very happy, completely unexpected awards. And yeah, these were absolutely amazing. What else? Yeah, so I said there was less leads coming in, less inquiries, but I was very lucky to work with a lot of returning clients. So clients that worked with me in 2020, 2021, they came back, they need a refresh, they need some add-ons to their projects, they had new projects. So that was really cool. And I hope that will continue because I absolutely love to keep the communication open and the friendship open with my past clients. What else? I also did a photo shoot. So yeah, in October, I did a photo shoot with Gaffney and Co. With the wonderful Carol Gaffney and Phil Gaffney. And that was definitely one of the highest points of my year, not just because of the end result of the photo shoot. And I can spend a full day praising about them. But because the whole process that led us to the end result. So the photos are amazing, but the clarity that came with the process of doing the photo shoot, especially getting to learn about my own color palette. As you can see, I'm wearing one of my color palettes. It was, I can say easily, it was a bit life-changing because I'm looking at my wardrobe in a different way. I'm looking at the way that I stand online and all of that in a completely different way because of the work I did with them. So that's definitely one of the highest points for me in 2025. I did a lot of networking, but not as much as I thought I would do. And the reason is because I think I became a little bit better prioritizing my time and kind of like slicing my time into different buckets of my week. But I feel like I did enough networking to support me and to keep me happy and sane and socialize. But not to a point where I was overwhelmed. So it was really, really good and a really positive year for networking in my opinion. And I hope it will continue so in 2026. Very exciting as well. Then, yeah, so it marked 6 years in business for me in 2025, unofficially. And yeah, November 2019 to November 2025, 6 years in business. And it sounds completely crazy, but I've come a long way. I've been growing this business very steadily, and I am very proud of what I've achieved so far. And definitely getting this mark of the 6 years was really, really nice and important. And I really hope to celebrate many, 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 many more years. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all the ups and downs of 2025 for me. As a person, as a business owner, as a podcaster, and going forward for this year, what I really want, and I feel like this is going to be my word for 2026. I don't really want to put it in stone because I might change it. I have commitment issues. No, I'm not. I'm only joking. But for now, what feels like a really good term for me, a really good mantra is simplifying everything. And that's what I've been working for the past couple of months and that I want to bring more into 2026. I want to simplify my offers. They are already on the way to be simplified. My website is nearly going live, my new website. I want to simplify my processes, everything. I want your life as a client, if you work with me, to be as easy as it can be, and my work as a designer to be made with you in a collaborative and more effective way. So it's pretty much about shedding things that are really unnecessary and just keeping the essentials and really what makes work valuable. What else I'm going to bring? I am going to be more bold. I feel like I've always been a little bit bold with business, almost kind of like my persona, because as a person on my private life, I'm not as bold, but I want to be more bold. So I am going to be more out there. I am going to go and ask for stuff. I'm going to collaborate. I'm ready to be visible. Yeah, I'm ready to be visible. That's what I want to say. So that's one of the things that I really want to bring in 2026. And then I want to continue designing and building brands and websites and networking and going to events and learning more, and to be here next year doing your 2026 review and sharing with you all the good ups and very little lows for this year. So that's pretty much kind of like my recap. So as I was saying at the beginning, I felt like the year was very vanilla, but as you can see, it was not vanilla at all. There was so much to it that I really encourage you to do the same reflection. Just take, half an hour, sit down with your notebook and just take some notes of every single month. What do you remember that happened? I nearly missed so many things, and I'm so glad that I'm now kind of like looking back at what I wrote and kind of like acknowledging those moments, the good and the bad, because they're both important. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope you have a good week, and we'll be back again in 2 weeks for another episode. So I hope everyone has a great 2026, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. And that's it for today's episode. Thank you for listening, and remember, every brand journey starts with a single step. You can find the episode details in the description, and if you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a review, share with your friends, and follow Core Brands Podcast to be notified of new episodes. Until next time, stay inspired and keep creating.